Welcome to the English Globe, your go-to podcast for mastering English and building valuable life skills. I'm Adam, and I'm excited to have you with us today.
And I'm Julia. Today, we're diving into a topic that's not only crucial for personal development, but also incredibly relevant for anyone looking to enhance their social skills, especially when you're navigating new environments or learning a new language. Our topic today is how to make new friends.
Making friends can be a daunting task. Whether you've just moved to a new city, started at a new school, or are simply looking to expand your social circle. It can be even more challenging when you're learning a new language and trying to communicate effectively. But don't worry, we're here to help.
Exactly. We understand the challenges that come with stepping out of your comfort zone and trying to connect with new people. That's why in today's episode, we're going to share some practical tips and strategies to help you build meaningful relationships and make new friends, no matter where you are or what stage of life you're in.
And we're not just talking about superficial connections. We'll explore how to develop genuine friendships that can provide emotional support, enhance your language learning experience, and open doors to new cultural exchanges and opportunities.
To make our discussion even more insightful, we have a special guest joining us today. Maria has had a wealth of experience in making new friends while navigating different cultures and languages. She'll be sharing her personal stories, challenges, and the effective strategies she's used to build a strong network of friends.
Maria's insights are invaluable, and we're thrilled to have her with us. She's going to offer a unique perspective that we believe will resonate with many of our listeners who are in similar situations.
So, whether you're an introvert trying to come out of your shell, someone who has just moved to a new place, or a language learner looking to practice with native speakers, this episode is packed with useful advice that you can start applying right away.
Let's get started with our first segment, where we'll talk about the importance of friendships and how they can positively impact your life. But before we dive in, let's welcome Maria to the show.
Maria, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to hear your stories and tips on making new friends.
Thank you for having me, Adam and Julia. I'm really looking forward to sharing my experiences and hopefully inspiring your listeners to step out and make new connections.
Great. So, stay tuned, everyone. We've got an exciting episode ahead with lots of practical advice and real-life stories. You're listening to the English Globe, and we're here to help you make new friends and enhance your English skills. Let's jump right into it.
Let's begin with why friendships are so important and how they can enrich your life in ways you might not have even imagined. As we mentioned earlier, today's episode is all about making new friends. This is such an important topic because friendships are a vital part of our lives. They provide support, joy, and opportunities for growth. But how do you actually go about making new friends, especially if you're feeling shy or unsure of where to start?
That's right, Julia. Making friends can be challenging, particularly when you find yourself in a new environment, whether it's a new city, school, or even a different country. For many of our listeners, the added layer of learning a new language can make this even more daunting. However, with the right approach and mindset, it's entirely possible and incredibly rewarding.
In today's episode, we'll walk you through several key aspects of making new friends. First, we'll discuss how to overcome initial shyness, which is something many people struggle with. We'll share tips on how to build confidence and take that first step in reaching out to others.
Next, we'll delve into finding common interests, connecting with people who share similar hobbies or passions, can make the process of making friends much easier and more enjoyable. We'll talk about different ways to discover and connect with these like-minded individuals.
Then, we'll move on to keeping the conversation going. It's one thing to start a conversation, but maintaining it and developing it into a deeper connection is another. We'll offer practical advice on how to engage in meaningful dialogues, ask the right questions, and be a good listener.
We'll also share some role-playing scenarios to demonstrate these techniques in action. Adam and I will act out typical situations where you might meet new people, such as at a social event or in a language class. This will give you a clear idea of how to apply these tips in real life.
And of course, we're excited to have Maria with us today. Maria has first-hand experience with making new friends in different cultural settings, and she'll be sharing her personal stories and strategies that have worked for her. Her insights will be incredibly valuable for anyone looking to expand their social network.
We'll also have a Q&A segment where we'll address some of the questions you, our listeners, have sent in. This is your chance to get personalized advice on any specific challenges you're facing when it comes to making friends.
By the end of this episode, we hope you'll feel more confident and equipped with practical strategies to go out there and make new friends. Remember, building friendships takes time and effort, but the rewards are well worth it.
Absolutely, Julia. So stay tuned as we dive deeper into these topics. You're listening to The English Globe, and we're here to help you not only improve your English, but also build lasting, meaningful relationships. Let's get started. First, let's talk about why having friends is so important. Friendships provide emotional support, opportunities for social interaction, and a sense of belonging. It's amazing how having a good friend can lift your spirits and make life's challenges feel more manageable.
Absolutely, Adam. Friends are there for us during both the good times and the bad. They celebrate our successes, help us navigate through tough times, and provide a listening ear when we need to vent or seek advice. Beyond the emotional benefits, friendships also offer practical advantages, especially for language learners.
Right. For those learning a new language, having friends who are fluent can be incredibly beneficial. They provide real-life practice opportunities, help correct mistakes in a supportive way, and expose you to colloquial language and cultural nuances that you might not get from textbooks.
Exactly. Cultural exchange is another significant benefit. Friends from different backgrounds can broaden your perspective, teach you about their customs and traditions, and help you become more culturally aware and sensitive. This kind of exchange is invaluable in today's globalized world.
Let's share some personal stories to illustrate how friendships have positively impacted our lives. I remember when I first moved to a new city for college, I didn't know anyone and felt quite isolated. But then I met John, who was also new to the city. We quickly became friends, exploring the city together, helping each other with our studies, and just being there for each other during those initial tough months. It made a huge difference in how I adjusted to the new environment.
That's a great story, Adam. For me, one of the most impactful friendships was with a colleague from a different country. We were working on a project together, and through our collaboration, we became good friends. She taught me so much about her culture, which was fascinating and enriching. We also helped each other with language practice, which was incredibly beneficial for both of us.
These stories highlight the emotional and practical benefits of friendships. Emotional support from friends can help reduce stress, boost your mood, and even improve your mental health. Knowing that there's someone you can rely on who genuinely cares about you is incredibly reassuring.
And from a practical standpoint, friends can help you with everyday tasks, provide advice and feedback, and introduce you to new activities and social circles. For language learners, having a friend who speaks the language you're learning is like having a personal tutor who's available anytime.
Let's also talk about the sense of belonging that friendships provide. Humans are social creatures, and having a group of friends gives us a sense of community and belonging. It makes us feel connected to something larger than ourselves and provides a support network that we can rely on.
Yes, the feeling of belonging is crucial. It boosts our self-esteem and helps us navigate through life's challenges more effectively. Friends provide a safe space where we can be ourselves without fear of judgment, which is incredibly empowering.
Another important aspect is the opportunity for social interaction. Regular social interactions with friends can improve your communication skills, increase your confidence, and help you develop better social skills overall. These interactions are especially important for language learners as they provide real-life practice in a supportive environment.
Speaking of which, let's talk a bit more about the role of friendships in language learning. Friends who are native speakers can help you practice speaking and listening in a natural context, which is often more effective than formal study alone. They can introduce you to slang, idioms, and cultural references that you might not encounter in a classroom setting.
Absolutely. Friends can also help you with pronunciation and provide immediate feedback. This can be incredibly beneficial for improving your language skills quickly and effectively. Plus, learning with friends makes the process more enjoyable and less intimidating.
To sum up, friendships are invaluable for providing emotional support, practical assistance, opportunities for cultural exchange, and essential language practice. They enhance our lives in so many ways and help us grow as individuals. Whether you're navigating a new city, starting at a new school, or learning a new language, making friends should be a top priority.
We hope sharing these insights and personal stories has highlighted the importance of friendships and how they can positively impact your life. Up next, we'll discuss some common challenges in making new friends and how to overcome them. Stay tuned.
Now let's address some common challenges people face when trying to make new friends. It's important to recognize that these challenges are normal and experienced by many. The first one we'll talk about is shyness. Feeling shy or anxious when meeting new people is very common, and it can be a significant barrier to making friends.
Absolutely, Julia. Shyness can make it difficult to initiate conversations and put yourself out there. But there are strategies to overcome this. One effective approach is to join clubs or groups that align with your interests. When you're engaged in an activity you enjoy, it's easier to connect with others who share the same passion. It gives you a natural starting point for conversation and helps build confidence.
Another major challenge is language barriers. For those learning a new language, it can be intimidating to speak with native speakers. You might worry about making mistakes or not being understood. But remember, the key is to practice and not be afraid of errors. Most people appreciate the effort and are more than willing to help you along the way.
To overcome language barriers, Attending language exchange meetups can be very helpful. These events are designed for people who want to practice different languages in a supportive environment. You can meet others who are learning your language and offer to help each other. It's a great way to build friendships while improving your language skills.
Finding common interests is another challenge. Sometimes it feels like you have nothing in common with the people you meet, which can make it hard to form a connection. A good strategy here is to explore a variety of social events and activities. Try out different clubs, sports, or community events. The more you expose yourself to new experiences, the higher the chance you'll find people with similar interests.
Being proactive in starting conversations is crucial. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but taking the initiative is often the best way to meet new people. Start with simple, open-ended questions that invite the other person to share more about themselves. For example, instead of just asking, "Do you like this event?" try asking, "What do you think about this event so far?" This encourages a more engaging conversation.
Also, don't underestimate the power of small talk. While it might seem superficial, small talk can be the gateway to deeper conversations. Simple comments about the weather, a mutual activity, or a shared experience can break the ice and lead to more meaningful interactions.
Let's also talk about the fear of rejection. It's natural to worry about being turned down or ignored, but remember, everyone experiences rejection at some point. The important thing is not to take it personally. Not everyone will become your friend, and that's okay. Focus on the positive interactions and keep putting yourself out there.
Another useful tip is to be genuinely interested in others. Show curiosity about their lives, hobbies, and opinions. People appreciate when you listen and show interest in what they have to say. It helps build rapport and trust, which are essential foundations for any friendship.
Consistency is key. Building friendships takes time, so be patient and persistent. Keep showing up to social events, follow up with people you've met, and continue to engage in activities you enjoy. Over time, these repeated interactions will help form stronger bonds.
Let's not forget the importance of body language. Non-verbal cues like smiling, maintaining eye contact, and having an open posture can make a big difference in how approachable you appear. Positive body language can help others feel more comfortable around you and more likely to engage in conversation.
Remember, everyone feels nervous at first, but taking the first step is crucial. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Making friends is a skill that can be developed, and each interaction is an opportunity to improve.
To sum up, making new friends involves overcoming challenges like shyness, language barriers, and finding common interests. By joining groups, attending events, being proactive, and showing genuine interest in others, you can navigate these obstacles effectively.
We hope these tips and strategies will help you feel more confident in your journey to making new friends. Up next, we'll have Maria share her personal experiences and tips on how she successfully built her social network. Stay tuned. Now it's time to bring in our special guest, Maria. Maria has an incredible story about making new friends while learning English, and we're excited to hear her insights. Maria, can you tell us a bit about your background and your experience with making new friends while learning English?
Sure, Adam. I moved to a new country a few years ago to pursue my studies and career. Initially, it was quite challenging because I didn't know anyone and was still learning English. However, I found that joining language exchange groups and participating in community events were great ways to meet new people and practice my English at the same time.
That sounds like a wonderful approach, Maria. What are some specific tips you have for our listeners who might be in a similar situation?
One of the most important things is to be open and approachable. Smile, make eye contact, and show that you're interested in meeting new people. It can be intimidating, but a positive attitude goes a long way. Also, showing genuine interest in others is crucial. Ask questions about their interests, backgrounds, and experiences. People love to share their stories, and it's a great way to start a conversation.
Those are excellent points, Maria. What about taking the initiative? Many people struggle with making the first move.
Yes, taking the first step can be daunting, but it's often necessary. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself and start a conversation. It can be as simple as commenting on something you both have in common, like the event you're attending or a mutual interest. Also, inviting someone for a coffee or a casual meetup can be a great way to get to know them better.
That's very practical advice. You mentioned language exchange groups earlier. How did those help you? And how can others find similar opportunities?
Language exchange groups were incredibly helpful for me. They provided a supportive environment where I could practice English without fear of judgment. Plus, I met many people who were also interested in learning new languages, which created a shared sense of purpose. To find these opportunities, you can look online for local language exchange meetups or join language learning platforms that offer community events.
What role did social media and online platforms play in your journey to making new friends?
Social media and online platforms played a significant role. They allowed me to connect with people before meeting them in person, which made the first face-to-face interaction less intimidating. Platforms like Facebook, Meetup, and language learning apps often have groups or events specifically for people looking to make new friends or practice languages. Engaging in these online communities can help you build connections and feel more comfortable when you finally meet in person.
That's a great strategy, Maria. How did you manage to keep these new friendships going once you made those initial connections?
Consistency is key. Keep in touch regularly, whether it's through messages, social media, or meeting up in person. Show genuine interest in their lives and share updates about your own. Also, try to participate in activities together, such as attending events, joining clubs, or simply hanging out. These shared experiences help strengthen the bond.
Maintaining friendships does require effort, but it's definitely worth it. What about dealing with rejection or the fear of not being accepted? How did you handle that?
Rejection is a part of life, and it's important not to take it personally. Not every interaction will lead to a lasting friendship, and that's okay. Focus on the positive experiences and keep putting yourself out there. It's also helpful to remind yourself that everyone feels nervous and unsure at times. Being persistent and maintaining a positive attitude will eventually lead to meaningful connections.
That's such a healthy perspective, Maria. Do you have any final tips or words of encouragement for our listeners who are trying to make new friends?
Just remember that making friends is a gradual process, and it's okay to take small steps. Celebrate the little victories, like starting a conversation or attending an event. Be patient with yourself and others. Friendships take time to develop, but with persistence and a positive attitude, you'll build a wonderful support network.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and insights, Maria. Your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm sure our listeners have gained a lot from your advice.
Absolutely, Maria. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. For our listeners, remember to stay open, be proactive, and keep practicing your social and language skills. Coming up next, we'll be answering some of your questions about making friends. Stay tuned.
Let's dive into some practical tips for starting and maintaining conversations. One effective method is to ask open-ended questions that encourage detailed responses.
That's right, Adam. Open-ended questions are great because they invite the other person to share more about themselves, leading to a more engaging conversation. For example, instead of asking, "Do you like movies?" you could ask, "What's the last movie you watched? And what did you think of it?" This allows for a deeper discussion and helps you get to know the person better.
Let's put this into practice with a role-playing scenario. Imagine we're at a social event and we've just met someone new. Julia, why don't you start?
Sure. Hi, I'm Julia. I noticed you're into hiking too. What's your favorite trail?
Hi, Julia. Nice to meet you. I love hiking. My favorite trail is the one up in the mountains. It's challenging, but the views are breathtaking. How about you?
That sounds amazing. I enjoy hiking in the woods. There's something so peaceful about being surrounded by nature.
Definitely. It's a great way to disconnect from the hustle and bustle of daily life. Have you been on any memorable hikes recently?
Yes, I actually went on a hike last weekend to a nearby national park. It was stunning. The colors of the autumn leaves were incredible.
Wow, that sounds like a beautiful experience. I love hiking during the fall season. It's so picturesque.
Absolutely. So do you hike often?
As often as I can. It's my favorite way to unwind and stay active. How about you?
I try to go at least once a month, but I'd love to go more often. It's such a refreshing way to spend time outdoors.
Definitely. Well, it's been great chatting with you, Julia. Maybe we can plan a hike together sometime.
That would be fantastic. Let's exchange numbers and stay in touch.
Sounds like a plan. Here, let me give you my number.
Great, thanks. I'll text you later so we can arrange something.
Looking forward to it. Enjoy the rest of the event.
You too, Adam.
And scene. That was a great example of how to start and maintain a conversation. By asking open-ended questions and showing genuine interest, you can build rapport and potentially form new friendships.
Absolutely. Practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to put yourself out there and start conversations with new people. You never know where it might lead.
That's right, Julia. And remember, the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. So keep trying, stay positive, and enjoy the process of meeting new people.
That concludes our segment on practical tips and role-playing. Up next, we'll be answering some of your questions about making friends. Stay tuned.
Now let's address some questions from our listeners. Our first question is from listener's name. How do I overcome the fear of rejection when trying to make new friends? Now let's address some questions from our listeners. Our first question is from Sophia. How do I overcome the fear of rejection when trying to make new friends?
That's a great question, and one that many people can relate to. It's natural to fear rejection, but it's important to remember that everyone experiences it at some point. The key is not to take it personally. Every no brings you closer to a yes. And remember, rejection is not a reflection of your worth as a person. Keep putting yourself out there, stay positive, and focus on the connections that do form.
Absolutely, Julia. Rejection is a part of life, and while it may sting in the moment, it's not a reflection of your value or worth. Keep trying, keep being yourself, and eventually, you'll find the people who appreciate you for who you are.
Our next question comes from another listener. How do I maintain new friendships? Maria, any advice on this?
Maintaining friendships requires effort and consistency. It's important to regularly reach out to your friends, whether it's through texts, calls, or planning activities together. Show genuine interest in their lives by asking about their day, their interests, and their experiences. Remember important dates like birthdays and anniversaries, and make an effort to celebrate them. It's all about building a mutual connection over time.
That's excellent advice, Maria. Consistency is key in maintaining any relationship. By staying engaged and showing that you care, you'll strengthen the bond with your friends and ensure that your friendships continue to grow.
Thank you to our listeners for these great questions. If you have any more questions or topics you'd like us to discuss on future episodes, feel free to reach out to us on social media or through our website.
That concludes our listener Q&A segment. Up next, we'll be wrapping up today's episode with some final thoughts and reminders. Stay tuned.
That wraps up our episode on making new friends. We hope you found our tips and role-playing scenarios helpful.
A big thank you to Maria for joining us today and sharing her valuable insights.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure sharing my experiences. Don't forget to subscribe to the English Globe for more episodes on practical English learning and life skills.
And connect with us on social media to share your experiences and ask more questions. Until next time, keep practicing and making new friends.
Thank you for listening to the English Globe. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye for now. And remember, every conversation is an opportunity to learn and grow.
Take care and happy learning.